This is Open Line.
Hello everyone, welcome to Open Line. Very interesting show tonight. We're taking a big picture look at a major issue that's impacting our workforce today and will impact it into the future. We're talking about automation's effect on the workforce. Some people are calling this the second machine age. And there's a lot to talk about here. Happy to have with us people who can help us. Sally Avery is the director of ECD's Center for Economic Research in Tennessee. Sally, thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
And Mike Krause, executive director of Tennessee's Higher Education Commission. Thank you for being here as well.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so the impact of automation. What are we seeing right now in Tennessee, and where are we heading? And Sally, what about that?
Sure. So a couple of years ago, our department released a report on automation in Tennessee. Our economy is seeing a big shift in our nation's workforce and business community. Automation can replace many tasks required of the workforce. And in 2013, a study done at the University of Oxford in England analyzed 700 positions and all of the tasks required of those positions. They found that 320 of those positions have a high susceptibility to computerization or automation. So at ECD, we analyzed those 320 positions to see where the landscape is in Tennessee and how those positions will impact our workforce when automation comes to be.
So you researched that. How long did you look into this?
We looked at it for about 4 months.
4 months.
We built upon other research from Oxford and North Carolina.
And so generally speaking, what did you find?
We found that 1.4 million Tennessee jobs have a high probability of automation. So that means that in those 320 positions, there's 1.4 million Tennessee workers, and that comprises 50% of our state's workforce and 37% of our state's wages. So
that's a major shift that could be happening. And how soon do we think this could happen? What's the time frame?
There's not a time frame on it, but I would project that horizon is about 10 to 15 to 20 years. It's just continual. I think it's occurring right now as we speak.
And some examples? I mean, what are some examples of things that human beings do now that could be filled with automation?
I'd say one that we've seen from the higher education side already from the workforce is what manufacturing really means. And that an assembly line that used to take 15 to 20 full-time employees sitting on the line may require 2 employees who are actually operating very complex mechatronics machinery. Probably the most stunning anecdote we've all become familiar with is during a trade mission overseas, visiting a fully automated factory. As you walk in, there are no lights. Robots don't need lights to function. And I think that's a really dramatic indication that all of the workplaces we've envisioned our entire lives, and really the workplaces that higher education has been preparing people to function in, are about to face a level of disruption that I don't think many of us can comprehend. And that's what makes research like this so important, because the reality is the work that Sally and her team have done is a bit of a call to action. And I think that we're in a good place now because we're able to have a 10-year horizon to react to this, but we really do need to begin reacting to it quickly.
And yeah, we all think about the assembly line. That's an example that we can all kind of grasp and immediately understand, but it goes well beyond that. I mean, you were talking about McDonald's will maybe have kiosks, and
right.
And I was talking about my neighbor, I think, is looking into buying an automated lawnmower that would do away with the need for people that come and cut your grass, landscapers. One of these things that's like a little robot, like a little vacuum cleaner in your house. They would have it on your front lawn. I mean, so the examples here really show a major shift is coming. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, other examples include restaurant servers and waitresses, cashiers. Robots can diagnose illnesses.
I think we're struck, this is not just a blue-collar problem.
Okay.
And that tends to be most people's reaction is they think automation.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, that's about tools and hands-on work. I would submit to you that automation is going to radically disrupt radiology. There are several pilots underway right now worldwide where artificial intelligence is able to diagnose with accuracy and read medical imaging. artificial intelligence will absolutely and is already disrupting the practice of law. And the ability to write intelligent, well-articulated court briefs being done, that used to be done by droves of first-year associates, that work is shifting now into an artificial intelligence posture as well.
Really?
Absolutely.
So I hear that, and it paints to me a bleak future. It paints to me a future where there aren't going to be many jobs. Is that, am I misreading this?
So jobs will not be eliminated, they will change. There will be, as I was mentioning, the study from Oxford analyzed workforce tasks. So one position is accumulation of lots of tasks. So jobs will not be eliminated, they'll just shift around. And there will be new industries that arise, there will be new positions arise, and it's really communities that have a highly educated workforce will really be able to benefit from automation. Because if you think about the combination of human skill and the precision and speed of technology, it's really going to advance our state and those communities that can grasp education to align with automation and increase productivity, wages, leisure time, and a host of other benefits.
I understand that. I think, and I also understand, yes, okay, if there's, it does present opportunities for higher education, better paying jobs, because maybe you would have somebody who's overseeing an assembly line of robots than all of the people on the assembly line. But to me, that still concerns me that there would be fewer jobs overall.
I think that there will never be a substitution for human judgment. And that's where, as higher education, as we've begun to pivot and focus on this, we're focusing on it in two paths. First is very much, it's the human trait of judgment. And that actually really strengthens, I believe, higher education's liberal arts pursuit. And something we face at our agency often is we need more technical skills. We absolutely need more technical skills in Tennessee. And in fact, many of our job openings over the next several years will be associate degrees and below. At the same time, though, liberal arts create critical thinkers who are able to operate, I think, in a very natural way relative to artificial intelligence. The other stream, though, where these jobs are going to be people who are able to have a base of skills, but then able to be very versatile. So, for instance, in the past, you would have had a manufacturing specialty. So let's say you were a tool and die worker. What we'll need now are workers who are able to kind of think broadly about manufacturing and then move into each of those roles throughout the continuum that require that human trait of judgment. And I think we're really excited. We have several higher education institutions in Tennessee who are there now, who are thinking about a different world of manufacturing. And I think the key word is agile. We'll need workers that are more agile in the future. And we will always need workers, there's no doubt about it. But I think what Sally's report shows is the daily work will change.
And it talks about disruption index. When you talk about something like disruption index, what does that mean?
So the disruption index it has a negative connotation. Disruption and automation has a negative connotation. But disruption is just change, and change can be beneficial. So we analyzed in our paper, we analyzed the susceptibility of communities to automation. We also included two other factors in our index. One was educational attainment, and the other was age demographics. We project that communities that have a low percentage of working age population relative to young and old dependents will, those communities may see automation more quickly, especially with the retirements of the baby boomer cohort. There will be less workforce for business to tap, and so that is a potential for disruption. And educational attainment, we feel, is really the way for communities to grapple with this and be agile.
There are areas of the state that will be impacted more than other areas, is that right?
Yes. The communities that have high susceptibility to automation tended to be more rural, and the positions also tended to be lower wage.
And so again, I'm concerned that this just puts more wealth in the hand of the, an upper few who, instead of having to deal with people that have, schedules, can now have a robot that will never call in sick and that kind of thing. And then that just worries me.
I would say that Tennessee is probably uniquely postured to address this change. First, we have a little bit of, I think, a predictive report. Not every state has that. Second, we're the only state in the nation where virtually any Tennessean can go to college tuition free right now. Our high school students graduating can go via Tennessee Promise. And we are about 4 months into implementing, any adult in Tennessee can go via Tennessee Reconnect, technical or community college. So if I was a viewer at home hearing this and being alarmed at maybe my skill set not being ready, I would direct them to TN Reconnect. I would tell them that at tnreconnect.gov they can join, at latest count, about 23,000 Tennesseans have applied for this opportunity since February, and they're going to have the opportunity to essentially reskill. The other thing too, Ben, is higher education. Our duty in this is we've got to change how we think about credentials. So I think all of us came up in an age where it was, you get a 4-year bachelor's degree. Couple things. One, college could be a 6-month certificate done at one of our Tennessee colleges of applied technology. And second, maybe you'll need to get multiple certificates throughout your career. And the way we call that on and off ramping. I think that without question, higher education is going to have to get more comfortable with asymmetric delivery rather than the very focused structure we've kind of been working through, if you think about it, for the last several hundred years.
So say you have a 10-year-old child right now, and I don't know, that kid is really forward thinking and is like, what should I do? That's probably not, but 10 years from now,
yeah.
what are people going to be majoring? What would it be smart for people to be majoring in? And I guess, what is higher education planning for? How is it going to look 10 years from now? How different than right now?
Well, I mean, and I think we can say confidently, it better look different. We have to change how we're delivering instruction a couple different ways. First and foremost, we've got to begin to use technology. If you went to a classroom in 1950 down the street at one of our universities, it looks a lot like a classroom now. So we've got to begin embracing disruptive technology. And to me, that looks like this generation is very comfortable with technology. And if you think about it, they walk into our classrooms in higher ed and we shoot them back in time versus really focusing on their comfort with technology. I think we've got to get better at classrooms that meet students where they are. That 10-year-old though, and I'll rely on our economists to talk about this more, coding is an absolutely no-fail skill. No matter what happens in the future, we will need people that know how to interface with artificial intelligence and adjust it accordingly and improve it. The coding skills that can be provided at incredibly early ages, I think, are absolutely incredible investments. Even if you think about it, what if you go into a totally different field? Well, I'll tell you, a lawyer that knows how to code is probably going to be in a really good position with some of these artificial intelligence disruptions. At the same time, what if I have a certificate in manufacturing, or mechatronics as we call it? Well, that person who knows how to pull that machine offline, write lines of code in Python or SQL, and be able to make that machine do things differently with different architecture, that is a powerful skill. So when we talked earlier about maybe being worried there wouldn't be as many jobs, I think there will be a lot of jobs, but we will need to think about different competencies, and coding is a core competency.
Coding, what is coding? What is that?
Those are IT positions. I am not a coder, but
yeah,
focused on writing programs.
Writing programs to help, I guess, tell the robot what to do.
Data architecture.
Yeah.
Thinking through the structure of logic. And if you think about it, all computer programming is really about zeros and ones. Mm-hmm. And I bet someone will call in a moment to be more technical about that. But zeros and ones that indicate a stream of instructions. Coders know how to build that architecture layer upon layer that result in that artificial intelligence or machine executing the given task.
And you said waitresses and servers. How would that be? Are there going to be little robots driving around like taking us our food?
If you think about the airport now, you don't even need to speak to somebody when you check in and check your bag. There's just kiosks.
So that's what we're looking at. Oh man, okay, well that's interesting. All right, we're going to take a break. If you want to call in, there's a number, 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. Take a break, we'll be back right after this.